Hello there everyone and welcome to another edition of Lydia's Crafty Corner with me, Lydia, in my little crafty corner. So today I'm going to be sharing with you 3 simple cards using some really fun techniques. So we are going to be using just mask stencils to create the background, and then we're also going to be doing a little bit of ghost printing. So to start with, I am going to be using the Wild and Free mask stencil. Now all I'm going to be using from this is the flower masks. I'm not going to need the stencil piece for this. So I'm going to remove all of the little flowers that I have in there. I'm then going to take a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 cardstock, and I'm going to temporarily adhere my pieces down. So these little mask stencils, I'm using my Alt-New tape glue for this. I'm just adding a little bit of tape to the back of the stencil, and I'm just going to take off a little bit of sticky using my fingers and then pop these into place. Now this is kind of like placing a jigsaw puzzles into place. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I have all the pieces where I want them to be. Now I'm just adding these to the bottom of my little piece of panel that we have here. Reason being, I don't have enough of these flowers to cover the whole piece at one time. So I'm just going to keep adding these until I'm happy with the placement at the bottom. I'm then going to move these later on, so I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So once I have all of my little masks in place, you can see how cool it does look. Now you could just leave it like this if you wanted to and just blend the whole piece, but I want to do it all over, so I'm just going to show you how to do that one. So I'm going to take the beautiful Aqualicious ink from Alt-New, and I'm going to take my large blending tool. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to blend from the bottom, and I'm not going to go over the topmost flowers because I want to be able to create a really even blending at the top. So I'm just going to do as much as I can without going past those top flowers that we have in the middle. So the ones in the middle, I'm not going past those ones. So once I have just blended the bottom using the Aqualicious ink, I'm then going to move the little pieces, the little masks, from the bottom piece further up into the card. I'm going to try and keep my pieces as close as I can as possible in my little jigsaw, just to make sure that everything looks as it did at the bottom. Once I have done that, I can then blend the piece that I've just covered. And then if you do need to, which I did need to, I can move those little masks again and then add the more blending to cover the whole piece. Once I've covered the whole piece in my blending, you can remove all of these. Now I do recommend that you do wash these before you pop them back into your package, so everything doesn't get mucky and they're ready to go the next time. Once I've done that, if you have any adhesive still on your panel, just take an eraser and that is going to help get rid of any of the adhesive that's there. Once that's done, I can then move on to my second colour. I'm using fuchsia for this, but you could use whatever colour you wanted. Just make sure that it is going to blend beautifully with the colour that you've already used. So this is going to give me a really beautiful purple colour over the Aqualicious, but you could do different colours and you could definitely blend more than one on each of the blending processes that we are doing. So that's going to give it a really great effect. Now that's going to blend everything together and also soften at the edges. Now I'm going to take a panel of cardstock, which is exactly the same as the one that I have before. And I'm just placing that on so the ink is facing one of the panels, and I'm then going to run that through my die cutting machine, and then you can see that's when we have the ghost printing. And how cool is that? It's lovely and soft. You can use scrap paper for this, and it does tend to take up more of the ink if you use scrap paper other than cardstock like I have here. I've then cut my bold panel down through the middle, and I'm just going to add a little bit of iridescent ink spray to one of them just to add a little bit of difference to both of the cards. I'm then going to take the Label Love stamp set, and I'm taking 3 of the largest sentiments from there, and I'm just going to ink those up using my beautiful Obsidian ink. This is going to give a really bold and crisp image to those sentiments. Once I've done that and they've dried, I'm then going to just cut around them, leaving a little white border using my scissors. These are really easy to cut out and a great sentiment to have on your cards. I'm then going to pop my cards together. So this is the first one. This is without the splatter. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add that into place onto my card base using some glue tape. And then I'm going to add the sentiment using some foam tape. Again, with the second card, I'm going to do exactly the same. So glue tape for the little panel that we have there. This is the one with the little iridescent spray on, and then some foam tape for the sentiment for a little added interest. For this one, I did want to add a little bit of twine, so I'm just using the beautiful lavender twine from Altenew. I'm just going to pop that into place on the back of my sentiment. I've already added my little foam on there, and that is going to catch that twine and keep it into place, or twine or thread. This is probably more of a thread. So once I have that in place on the back of my sentiment, I can then pop that into place onto that ghosted panel. I've then added the ghosted panel onto a card base quite simply. So here are the 3 cards. I do love how these turned out, and I do think that that beautiful ghosted ink effect is really rather pretty. It's very subtle, but it does add a really beautiful touch to your cards. So I really do hope that you've enjoyed the video and that you liked the techniques involved. If you do create something that was inspired by this, it would be great if you do share. And thanks so much for watching. Hello there, crafty friend, Lydia here. Just popping in to say that you can get your daily dose of crafting tips, techniques and tutorials just like this by subscribing to the Altenew YouTube channel. All you need to do is click on that little bell up there and you will never miss a video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.